Welcome to Reach the World ASAP. I'm Pastor Scott Griswold, bringing you a story about medical missionary work from Myanmar, the country between Thailand and India that is often known as Burma. Mommy, Chung Nung got bit. His little brother was hanging limp in his arms. By what? What bit him? Mother knew there were poisonous snakes whose bite could kill a water buffalo. I stuck my hand down in a hole. Chung Nung was not talking very clearly. His arm was swelling bigger and bigger. His brother was very worried. Mom, I don't think it was a rat. I'm sure it was a snake. Is he going to die? Immediately, Mother lifted up her heart to God. I dedicate this son to you. Please deliver him from this poisonous snake. Nung was starting to go unconscious. Quickly, they rushed him to the only one who might be able to help. There were no hospitals nearby. Though the government is trying hard, there are so many mountains, so many remote villages, so many languages. Too few have safe water to drink, let alone access to decent medical care. The healthcare lady gave him some kind of injection. Would it help? She didn't think so. Only God can save your boy now. And God did save little Chung Nung. He was 6 years old. As he grew, he learned more about the God who healed him. When someone preached at the church, he wrote down notes. He started teaching the younger boys in Sunday school. He knew God had saved him for a reason. Then one day, Seventh-day Adventist Christians held some evangelistic meetings in the village. Nung learned the signs that showed Jesus' coming was very soon. He listened eagerly to the explanations about Jesus' death, that God could forgive sins and set people free from breaking his law. He was surprised to learn that the seventh day, Saturday, had been God's holy day ever since creation. But what especially intrigued him was what he learned about health and God's healing ways. Your body is God's temple, they told him. If you break God's health laws, the body suffers and gets hurt. If you eat healthy food, it makes you stronger to serve God. He'd never heard that pigs and rats were unclean meats. Back at home, Mother and Big Brother and everyone else wasn't too happy with him. You're a teacher in our church. You can't go off following this group. But Nung couldn't stop talking about the truths he was learning. He would take one bite of food and talk for 10 sentences, take another bite and say another spiel. And while the preacher was calling for decisions to be baptized, his parents were trying to find a way to send him off to the Baptist seminary. Nung poured out his heart to God. I believe you are the healer God who saved me and has called me to obey and serve you. You have shown me your truth, and I want to take your healing to people in trouble. But if I cannot convert my family, then I don't want to serve you in your work. The very next day, his mother said, we understand now what you've been sharing. We will follow you. We will be baptized with you. Nung was overjoyed. His baptism, their baptism, was the happiest day of his life. Off he went to the Seventh-day Adventist seminary to study the Bible. Well, when he graduated, he took a job as a medical missionary sponsored by SAP Ministries. By then, he was married and had a little girl. They were sent high up in the mountains, way out in Chin State among the Phalam people. Nung couldn't speak that language very well, but never mind, he would learn it. And in the meantime, he would help people with their health. He took a bunch of health tracts and went to the local hospital. He passed them out in the lobby, then went from room to room praying for the people. The medical staff was surprised by the love he was showing. As his language improved, Nung talked with people everywhere. He met one man who was suffering terribly with kidney stones. I can't go to the hospital, it's too expensive. Nung offered to help. Lemon juice, aloe vera, and olive oil. It will really help out. The man didn't believe that. Besides, he had his own method. He went off to sacrifice a pig and a chicken. Well, the pain didn't go away, and kidney stones really hurt. Finally, he was ready to try out lemon juice and olive oil. To his surprise, after 3 days and bottles of water, the pain was gone. He was so pleased. He invited Nung to pray with him in his home, and he's starting to learn what the Bible really teaches. The Phalam people are about 60% Christian, while the rest worship spirits. Most of the Christians have been saying, it doesn't matter what you eat, just as long as your soul is saved and you can go to heaven. Nung met a family that drank a lot of coffee and ate a lot of meat. The mother had diabetes and her body was swollen. She asked Nung to pray for her. When he tried to counsel her to cut out the meat and fat from her diet, since those often lead a person towards diabetes, she said, Jesus didn't say that. He didn't say, don't eat that. He just healed people. Gently, Nung opened his Bible to Exodus 15:26, where God said, "If you diligently heed the voice of the Lord your God and do what is right in his sight, give ear to his commandments and keep all his statutes, I will put none of these diseases on you, which I have brought on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord who heals you." Then Nung said, "I will pray for you now, and next time I will tell you what to eat and what not to eat." After he left, she got a call to go straight to the hospital. She was admitted and was there for 2 weeks. The doctor said, "You have to change what you eat," and sent her home with a list that matched what Nung had told her. He smiled and said, "Didn't I tell you? Do you believe only the doctor, not God? You will lose your life if you don't pay attention to his words." Now she's stopped eating meat and drinking coffee, and each week she is a little better. Why am I telling you Nung's story? He's not some great missionary doctor who has saved thousands in the steaming jungles. It's because we need to remember that God has called each of us to take his healing touch to those who are in need. Nung has no degree in healthcare. He's just learned a few natural remedies that, combined with prayer, really help. You and I can too. Many scientific studies have shown that Seventh-day Adventists typically live 7 to 10 years longer than the average American. Just the simple knowledge we have about health can help friends who have diabetes, high blood pressure, or heart disease. And Myanmar needs more medical missionaries. Myanmar has one of the highest rates in Asia for tuberculosis and HIV/AIDS. Leprosy, measles, and polio are decreasing, but they are still there. 3 out of 4 people live in areas where mosquitoes bring the awful disease of malaria, and many die. You can sponsor a new medical missionary by calling us at 1-866-365-3541. There at asapministries.org. What about you? Maybe he's calling you to share his love as a medical missionary. Will you start preparing now? Nung is still out there, visiting hospital rooms and neighbors, fighting kidney stones and other things with lemon juice, a healthy lifestyle, and prayer. He knows his life was saved from the snake bite for a reason. How about you? Why are you alive? What will you do for Jesus today? Let's reach the world ASAP.